Hey guys, Dr. Steve here. If you have any difficulty just relaxing and chilling out and not having that busy mind rule the roost, I think you'll really like this upcoming video because I'll show you if you have that kind of brain that just doesn't seem like it wants to quiet down and shut down, it's really chatty in there. I'm going to show you what that actually looks like in the body and how you can give yourself a hand. Hey guys, welcome back. So I want to bring you over to our computer monitor here and show you when we evaluated someone when we took her heart rate variability, which I'll describe to you in just a moment what heart rate variability is and why it's important. But I just wanted you to take a look at what this graph looks like, and then we're going to give you a comparison. Because if you see this graph, how it's a bit chaotic. It rides up and down at very sharp, precise points. And that's actually really indicative and descriptive of a brain, a nervous system, and a heart that just doesn't want to relax, lay down, sit down. It likes its time filled right up until the point of bedtime. So it just has a tough time gearing and winding down. And even if it does wind down, it wants to fill its space with maybe watching TV or something that it just needs to be doing something, even if it's watching TV. Because I hear people say, well, you know what, I relax and watch TV. No, you don't actually relax because you're actually stimulating the system, and it's another thing to do. So I want to just show you what that actually looks like. If that's your style or the way that you go about life, that's what it looks like on the inside with your heart rhythms and the brain rhythms, the nervous system. So come on over here and I'll show you. So we have two systems in the nervous system. There's a major system called the autonomic nervous system, which is the automatic controls in your body. So again, from digestion to elimination to your heart beating, to your lungs breathing, those things are pretty much automatic. They just happen. So that's part of the autonomic nervous system. And that has two main branches. So there's the sympathetic, which is like the gas pedal in your nervous system. So it cranks the gas on, it's your fight or flight, it gets the energy going, it burns gas and fuel. Then you have the parasympathetic, which is your brake, and it's your rest relax system. So that's actually when you rest relax, it starts to recharge the batteries and replenishes and heals. So there's the sympathetic on the heart rhythms. When we read the heart rhythms in the nervous system, on the inhale represents your sympathetic nervous system, because when you got to get up and go, I gotta breathe in, and it spikes my adrenaline and my stress hormones and gets me moving and activates my energy. But then if I want to slow down and I want to just have a seat and relax, I got to access my exhale. Okay, and so both the inhale is the sympathetic nervous system, your fight or flight system. So this is your fight or flight system. And then the parasympathetics on the exhale is your rest and relax and rejuvenate system. Okay, so you have those two systems that are playing. Ideally, what you have in heart rate variability, which again, you can go look that up, heart rate variability is the measurement of the symmetry and balance between these two systems. We want those systems nice and balanced because that's the most flexible way of being, and it's your highest level of health to have a flexible nervous system. Well, why is that important? Because if you go and get too much caught up on the sympathetic side, you're going to be more prone to anxious thoughts, busyness, worry, etc. And then if you go too much on the parasympathetic side, you'll be lazier, you won't care as much, you'll be lethargic, you want to lay on the couch, you won't care about doing much. And so this would be wanting to more just rest and do nothing. This is, wanting to get up and go. So these two systems were measuring and at play. And when you find yourself in that very busy mind, not able to actually unwind and relax and do nothing, then we know that there's a challenge in this system here, okay? So ideally what we want is we want a nice balance and symmetry between these two. So you see how they just kind of flow, and that flow is called coherence. And that's really well spoken about in terms of even if you ever follow Dr. Joe Dispenza, a colleague of mine, he definitely emphasizes coherence and heart-brain coherence in terms of meditative states and creating new realities for yourself. So coherence is really important to access. Let me show you what a lack of coherence looks like again. So now that you kind of know that, here's a lack of coherence where it's all over the place here. And when we measure the coherence, you can look down here, the coherence number is 26.7 out of 100. So it's just very poor coherence. Now, I had this woman do the exercise I'm going to show you in a moment, and she did it for a couple of weeks very diligently. And here was her second reading. The coherence reading was now 59.4. And we can see how the symmetry of the rhythms have actually started to change. So I'll show you the previous one. There's her coming in, super busy mind, can't slow down. There's no way I could ever calm down and relax. I always got to be busy. I always got to be doing things right up until the point I go to sleep. That type of attitude, I guess you could say, and that type of nervous system and that behavior and expression in her way of being. Then we teach her some skill sets. She goes home, practices it daily, and now we get a reading of 59 on the coherence, where she's into a much more of a flow and rhythm. Okay, so that's the difference. That's how you can change your nervous system and change your state of being. She was much more able to be more relaxed and more present. So I'll show you kind of what I did. So what I first had her do was dedicate a 5-minute window for herself to give herself space in her home, like just laying on the floor, where she was completely dedicating herself to doing nothing. And I knew that that would force and challenge her nervous system to begin to take on a different way of being at the beginning. And so as she did that, all I instructed her to do was just to place her hands on her belly, to give herself space where nothing was going on, and begin to breathe in the nose and out the mouth. No, let me start over again. Okay, so the first suggestion that I gave her was because she had a tough time sitting down. So I said, okay, well, there's the opportunity and the challenge that we could move into. So her first week of exercise was to just lay down on her back, on her floor, in her living room, and do absolutely nothing, and work at finding contentment in just doing nothing and laying there. That was her first week's job, and she did that extremely successfully. And she found a lot of benefit in that, and just giving herself permission to do absolutely nothing. So, and again, this is especially for the people with the persona that is very, very busy and needs to fill time and space constantly. So it forced her to, within 7 days, to really allow herself to be in a space where she had to do nothing other than just be there and just lay there, okay? The second part that we had her do, once she did that for a week and she found benefit to that, then while she was in there, we had her place her hands on her belly and then do symmetrical breathing. So it was 5 seconds in and then 5 seconds out. So first she had to feel okay dedicating that time to herself, being able to be present there. Then the second point was to follow the breath in the nose and out the mouth and begin the symmetrical rhythm of her breathing. Again, the first part was being okay, to have her chatty mind be okay doing nothing. Then the second part was, while it's okay doing nothing, to then create more balance and flow in the nervous system, exploring both sides, the sympathetic and the parasympathetic, that inhale and the exhale symmetrically. So that's what we had her do for the following week. And so again, as she mastered that, and as she began to master that, then this is really what ended up being produced after that 2 weeks. So it didn't take too long. Now, it takes a month to 3 months to even 6 months to really hardwire this as a habit in the nervous system. But she got great benefit in terms of seeing that she can do it, she could accomplish it, she could really work at controlling and working her state with just some simple activities that she had to move into that she wasn't doing before. So again, the first one is that's what the super busy mind looks like, that doesn't want to stop and do anything, taking a load of energy. It takes so much energy to be that way. 26 on the coherence scale. Then after 2 weeks, she starts to find a new rhythm in her brain and body, in her well-being, in her ability to be at ease, even doing nothing for a short period of time. Now, if she's completely stopped that, the chance of her going back to some old habits is very, very likely. But I've done follow-ups with her for months, and she's been great, and she's been diligent at it, and definitely a way of being has changed for her. So, letting you know that there is hope. It takes a bit of diligence, and it takes some focus and some vision for yourself. But I think the idea is we can still be productive. You can still be active. You can still participate in life. But if you're looking at any type of self-mastery, you want to be able to master both sides of your persona, both the busy side and the ability to be quiet, still, and restful. That's part of mastery, to be able to do both, and that gives you a flexible persona and nervous system. Because if you go away on a beach somewhere, you want to be able to get quiet and relaxed in a very fast way. And so you need to be adaptable, and that's to be able to float between multiple personas and different ways of being. So hopefully it's helpful, and look forward to seeing you on the next video.